guys, Southern Comfort here. Well, I'm still wrestling with these potatoes. We got lots of rain coming tomorrow. I dug up some of the red potatoes. I've canned potatoes. And I think I just need to be satisfied where these potatoes are standing. So we're gonna have lots of rain tomorrow, and then we'll have 2 days of possibilities. It's gonna be cloudy, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, lots of rain. So I'm dealing with black soil, but let's take a look at these potato plants now. We got 5 days until it turns to 90 days of really time to harvest. Lots of people say let your potatoes die out, but every year I have to wrestle with the weather. But I'm not gonna wrestle because it's supposed to be stressless, not stressful. So we see that they're starting to look a little weird. They're gonna die back. And I really just don't want to have these potatoes onto my mind. So I know by looking at these potatoes, they're just, from here on out, all they're gonna do is die. The plants are gonna die. The foliage is gonna die. I mean, they don't look bad, but that's pretty much all it's gonna do now. So I have been thinking about planting something where the potatoes are going at, since I still got lots of time to plant something. And I did plant asparagus yard long string beans there. Never grown them before, but I had some seeds, and so I think they must be running, if they're going to be like a foot long bean. So, you know, when I look at that row down there is gone, and then it won't be long with these potatoes. Now I won't get it today, but it is a thought to go ahead and get something in these 2 rows to produce a harvest. It won't be long. There'll be time to pick these string beans here. The garden's looking super wonderful. It needs some water, but we got all this rain coming, and I'm trying to hold out because the plants really do need some water. So while those need water, this over here doesn't need any more water. So this is the potatoes we just dug up from, I think, two or three plants. So not a bad, nice sized potato. They're not bad. All of them is eatable, and we'll can them right on up. So what I like to do is go ahead, before the curing time of 2 weeks, go ahead and start washing these up and put them into the jars. Now, I noticed last time that the ants was just onto the red potatoes. These don't look bad. I don't see really any ant bites. Of course, I'm not washed off. But you see how wet this is? You see that? I haven't watered. And that's how it is into the soil. That's what's got me concerned. That even though it looks dry on the top here, down there where the potatoes are at, it's already wet. So that alone is making my decision to go ahead and dig these up. Now, it was sprinkling a while ago, just a little bit, not enough to even wet the soil, but it wasn't supposed to rain today. So to my opinion, I have a feeling that rain's going to come earlier than we expected and what they're saying. We grabbed some of these potatoes on the side. So, yep. We'll see what's down in here. So they're not bad. Looks like it's starting to rot. So I took a closer look at that, and it is starting to rot right there. Well, it's only one potato, right? You really don't know what your potatoes look like until you wash them off. But I wouldn't wash them off unless, if you're going to store them, just make sure this dirt is, you know, they're spaced out so that dirt can dry and it won't be holding that moisture. got dirt on your head. You got dirt on your head. He's a dirty cat. Hi. Hi. You're a sweet boy. You're a sweet boy. Yes, you are. You're gonna fall off. You're gonna fall off. What you being a silly boy. You being a silly boy. So I've dug up all the red potatoes. And looking at the size, I'm pretty happy with it. Some of these I stole some potatoes up under the bush. I do notice a pH arising right there. So each pile represents a bush. There used to be a slave quarters around here. And I found broken glass. I wish I'd known it was, I think it was in this location where this garden's at. I find broken glass, and it's a shame. That's got beautiful markings on it. The glass is like real glass. I wish I'd seen it, because I sure would have loved to came out here and dug around. I find spikes like you would hold the rafters, and bricks and mortar like for a chimney. That's beautiful. That's a shame. So anyways, so each pile, there's an ant on my potato. Get off of there. And look, see, the pH is rising up, and they won't store very well. So each pile represents a potato. And like I said, I don't have any complaints. That's nice sized potatoes. Very nice, very nice. Look at that. See how wet it is? This was huge. Oh, look at the pH. It's drying out. You see that? It's not going to store very well. So it's definitely time to get these potatoes out. Sometimes I second guess things, and usually I'll find out I'm right on it. My concern is to be sure there's ants got into it right there. My concern is having potatoes. I save my potatoes. There's ant got in it right there. Save some of my potatoes, pH, for just to plant next year or the fall. So I got some put up. I got some canned. Not bad potatoes. It was definitely a good call to go ahead and get them up. So this is the other ones I dug up. Let's see, the sun started shining, so it'll dry them off. Another telltale sign is when I dug this potato up. You see it sprouting right there? So that's not what we want. It's definitely time to get these potatoes out of the ground. We got 160 pounds of potatoes, Yukon Gold and red potatoes last time. Not bad at all. And I am estimating, because this thing is heavy, that we're going to probably get just as much. I'm not sure if I'm going to dig up those Yukon Gold, see how they're standing up. But the other ones are laying down. I might leave those and see what they do. But this is definitely 80, 85 pounds right here of potatoes. It's a huge one. Honestly, I could say that if my plants could just die out, I could leave them in the ground, leave the potatoes in the ground. I think majority of my potatoes will be super big, no doubt. I really do, because these are some nice sized potatoes. No complaints. But I wonder how big that one would be. But then again, I'm seeing a pH, so It's just time to get them out. So the rest of the Yukon Gold down there is definitely going to stay. It's up on higher ground. It's up on high hills. So I think it'd be okay, hoping. So this is Yukon Gold. Nice size. I've seen them bigger. That one got hit with a fork. This plant right here, which could have been one of the ones I stole some potatoes, I hit another one with a fork. So those will be used up. So I'm going to be making some mashed potatoes anyhow, so it's no big deal. So Saturday, a bee convention, field day. We're all going to get together and take a look at the hives. But so I like to see them like this. I don't like to see them like that. But, you know, no complaints. We'll take what we get. Beautiful potatoes. I love the Yukon Gold. They preserve very well. They grow very well. Looking at these potatoes right here, and then we got a few down there to dig up. But looking at last year's harvest and this year's harvest, with combining the last week's harvest, combining that harvest and this harvest, I believe we got just as many potatoes with 2 rows as I did last year with 3 rows. So this gives a lot of candy and a lot of potatoes. And after I thought about that, I was like, you know what? I'm super happy about this. So the potato plants, I'll just throw them in the garden, leave them there, let all those leaves deteriorate into the garden, and then I get those vines up and throw them into the compost. So as we take a look at the raised bed, we can tell these plants are dying back. Now they'll stay in here. I'm not worried about them. As you can tell, the soil is really dry. They need some water, and so they're definitely dying back. But we have harvested a couple of good sized potatoes. Take a look at this bed. We see that they're all fell down. I'm seeing sprigs right here, new growth. Kind of got me a little concerned because I don't want them to make potatoes. Plants down here look still beautiful. So back here into the greenhouse, I've been cutting the leaves off because they're dying back, because onto the beds they'll make a real mess. So they're looking pretty good. We're going to let them die back. I'm not worried about these raised beds, so it's all good. I think we're definitely going to get the harvest that we planned on. So I'm super happy about getting those potatoes out of the garden. I don't have to worry about the weather anymore. And I was able to preserve them, can some, put some up for next season, and now dug up some more. So I'm not like overwhelmed with potatoes or what to do with them. Now I have a refrigerator that I keep them in and store them into, and that works out very well. But then again, I can get so busy, and then I say, oh God, I got to do potatoes. So thank you very much for watching, being patient with me onto these potatoes. I'm really happy about it that I just took that chance, kept working with these potatoes, and now we got most of them out of the garden, and we still got potatoes around here into these raised beds to get up. See you onto the next video. If you're super happy for me with my potato harvest, give me a thumbs up, and thank you for the comments. With those that, one person said they commented and they said that, you know, they don't have to harvest their potatoes, they could leave them into the ground until just before frost. And I was like, wow, you know, that would be so helpful for me. But unfortunately we can't do that here. But it's really nice to hear those comments of what's taking place with other people into their area. So if you feel like it, leave a comment how you harvest your potatoes. So some people leave comments like, you know, you're supposed to wait until your potatoes die. I can't do that here. I wish I could, because that would be just such a relief, you know, not have to worry every year about the potatoes rotting or the ants or, you know, something crazy like that. But anyways, thank you very much. If you like my harvest, if you're super happy for me like I am happy, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you on to the next video.